Hello, everyone. It looks like Melissa's mic isn't working, so I'm going to take over. First of all, congratulations, everyone. That was an amazing show. That was so fun. Oh, look at that. And my face is on Melissa's, too. How did you, let's go around the room, first of all, because this is the first time you guys are seeing it. I would love to start. Who wants to start and just, like, maybe give us 2 sentences about what you loved about the show today? Yeah, Isabel.
First of all, it was super duper fun, and second of all, I did not expect what I saw. It was amazing.
What did you expect, Isabel?
Well, I just mean, like, it was incredible, like, the way everyone did it, and how it all was kind of glued together at the end. It was awesome.
Right. Yeah, you guys worked so hard. It looked amazing. Who else? Who else wants to share? Oh, we got some more people joining us.
Can I share?
Absolutely.
I really liked everyone's costumes. I thought the costuming on the show was really, really good. And yeah, it was really, like, the editing was fantastic. Like, I did not know what to expect, but it definitely was really, really good.
Thank you. Why don't we actually, do you mind, can we go back to Isabel? Isabel, will you introduce yourself and what role you played? And then Drew, will you do the same, even though I just said your name? But Isabel, who did you play in the show, for those who may not have seen it yet?
My name's Isabel, and I played Cogsworth.
You go to,
How about Drew?
Hi, I'm Drew, and I played Beast.
Awesome. Who wants to introduce himself? Yeah, I see you two, Reese and Ella.
Okay. My name's Ella, and I played Spoon for this show, and tomorrow I'm gonna play Mrs. Potts.
Hi, I'm Reese. I played a villager for this show, and tomorrow's show I'm playing Belle.
All right, let's go to, how about Noah?
Hi, I am Noah, and I play Maurice.
All right, how about to the right of Noah? Even though your name's on the screen, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. That's Anna, by the way.
Okay, hi, I'm Anna, and I'm playing Silly Girl.
Amazing. Here, I'll solo you guys. All right, here's who's next.
Hi, my name's Hazel, and I played the food show.
And then we've got one person backstage who had her debut this evening, Miss Riley. Congratulations, our Belle in the Rose cast. Melissa, how's your mic? Is it back on?
I think so. Is it working?
Yes.
Hi. Well, that was amazing. It was your first time seeing it, everyone, and it was my first time as well, which was really exciting. I'd seen parts of it, but it's my first time seeing the whole thing. We got to see some of our group Zoom recordings, as well as some of the individual things that we did. I'd love for y'all to talk, to tell the audience a little bit about what it was like with the rehearsal process on Zoom, and then what it was like for filming. Who would like to start talking about the rehearsal process? Drew?
So we had 3 rehearsals a week on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday morning. And they usually went, like, we had like a quick warm up, either vocal or physical, depending on what we were doing, like if we were dancing or singing. And then we'd split off into like groups and work on the things we needed to work on. Usually it was like the enchanted cast, which is like the people at the castle, and then the village cast of the people at the people in the village.
Isabel, did you want to add on to that?
Yeah, so we basically did that, but in the terms of filming, It was super fun. There were a lot of bloopers, but it was totally worth it.
Yeah.
I got to watch every single one of your guys' bloopers, and it was so fun.
Oh no.
Did you make a blooper reel?
I could make a 4-hour blooper reel if I wanted to.
That long?
Yes.
I'd love for someone in our cast to talk about what it was like to dance over Zoom and to talk a little bit about our choreographer and where he was zooming from and how interesting that is. Anna, could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so it was interesting dancing over Zoom because of the lag. And some people's internet cut out, and we had to like have someone take over, like a dance captain. Every time we learned a dance, we would have a dance captain. That way, if the choreographer, some like the internet cut out, the dance captain would take over. And also our choreographer Colby, he's super nice. He's an amazing choreographer. And yeah.
And I think I should say Colby was in the national tour of Beauty and the Beast. He played, I believe he played the bookseller, but he also went on for many roles, including Cogsworth. And the interesting thing is that Colby is a professional performer. He is doing Come From Away in Australia, and he was there the entire time we were doing our show. So he would often have to wake up at really early, like at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, to be there for our evening rehearsals. And we also had another person in the cast who lives in Germany. So we truly had an international cast of characters. And not everybody in our cast the rest of our cast is from Charlottesville either. We have some folks from Northern Virginia. I'd love for y'all to talk about what it was like to work with actors you have never met before in this Zoom setting. Drew.
I am not from Charlottesville. I live in Northern Virginia. So I got to meet a lot of new actors. Like, I don't think I knew anyone prior to the show. I mean, I'd seen some of them in like a previous DMR show that one of my siblings did, or my sibling did. I only have one sibling. But other than that, I didn't really know them at all. So I got to meet a bunch of new people and make like a lot of new friends. It was really cool.
Did anybody else want to talk about that? Ella, did you have something to say? Okay. Well, I would like to know, first of all, I'd like to encourage our audience who's watching to use the Facebook or YouTube comment function to ask questions. We'd love to see what questions you might have about the production or the rehearsal process or the filming process and answer those questions. I would like to know what you all were surprised with in the show. What were some things that you were just really surprised with? Ella.
I was really surprised by how like detailed the backgrounds were and how good the editing was. Like that was
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. Justin, can you talk about the backgrounds and where they came from?
Yeah, so we found a lot of them online, you know, royalty-free images maybe. And we what Nina and I were doing, we decided we didn't like a lot of the times that they were real images, so we actually altered them to look like paintings. So that's why a lot of them look like paintings in the background, because we wanted them to look somewhat consistent throughout. And then obviously you saw in some of the numbers, like Be Our Guest, we used some fun videos like flashing lights and confetti and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we found a lot of great stuff to throw on top of the screen to elevate the performance. I'd love to hear what it was like being in the studio where it was just a green screen, and then what it was like seeing on stage what it became, because I feel like it'd be so hard to do it alone like that. Anybody have anything to share about that? Yeah, Hazel, I see your hand.
It was really awesome. I liked recording in front of it, but there was also this weird feeling of not knowing what it would actually look like when it turned out.
I also think it was really fun because Hazel got to actually work with Thomas, who plays Gaston, right? And what was it like working in person after only meeting each other over Zoom for so long, Hazel?
It was kind of it was cool to see somebody like without the freezing, without the lag, somebody actually in person for the first time. I mean, if I could see everybody in the cast in person, that would be so amazing. I just forgot what it was like to see everybody in all of my performances live.
And so some students joined us in the studio and I recorded them individually with my phone. It's amazing that that all can happen with my phone. But there were other types of recordings we did as well. There were some students who decided to record from home because that was safer for them. There were some students who did a combination of coming in person and staying at home. And there were some students who were so far away they could never have dreamed of coming in person, like Brennan in Germany or Shay in Tennessee. Isabel, would you like to talk about what it was like to record from home when we did the individual recordings?
Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge, especially when, like, you kind of got to balance the rehearsal and stuff with, like, everyday life, which is kind of hard, but, like, if you really think about it, it's just throwing on a costume and reading a script, so it wasn't all that hard, but looking back, I realized that I had literally no idea what the heck this was gonna be like, but final product, everything was awesome, and I'm really happy with what I did and how much fun I had.
That's great. I think Amelia joined us late. Amelia, can you tell us who you are, where you're Zooming from or StreamYarding from, and which characters you played?
Yeah, I played Sausage Curl Girl. I'm Zooming from my house right now. So, yeah.
Awesome. And you were also a really scary wolf and a narrator, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we talked a lot. Oh, here we have a question from the audience. Adelaide asks, what were you thinking about while you were acting? Okay, Drew, can you start us out?
Yeah, first off, hi Ada. But I was thinking about like the scene, obviously. Like I wanted to be in the scene because I wanted to stay in character and all, and I needed to make sure that I knew what my next line was. It was really interesting because there were a lot of the beast is thinking a lot of different things in a lot of different places. So it was really hard to keep track of what I thought was going on in different scenes.
Ella, do you want to answer that question next?
Yeah, same as Drew, and also I was thinking like, what is this gonna look like after all the editing?
Yeah, there were so many things that were added, from sound effects to video effects. We also, when we did the video footage, especially for those of you who had acting in scenes, we did it a couple of different ways because we weren't sure what Justin, our editor, was going to use and how he was going to use it. Can anybody talk about kind of the two different ways that we approached the scene work in the studio? Reese, do you want to talk about that?
Okay, so there was a version where we would talk to the camera, and then there was another version where we would just look to the side like we were actually talking to someone. It was kind of awkward because there was no one there.
Well, I'm glad Justin did use both versions throughout the course of the show. And I'm also glad that we were able to use the Zoom recordings and see some masks, because that's so 2021, right? And so I thought it fit really well into the show. Part of what we talked about in starting the show is that this is a tale as old as time, but it's also a really current story. Does anybody want to talk about some of the themes in our show that you feel like really relate to what we're going through right now? Anna?
So what is kind of similar in my opinion is how the beast can't go into the outside world because he just can't, and his only window to the outside world is the mirror. So I think that's pretty similar.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can all relate to that a little bit with how much time we're spending on screen. I think there were a couple other things that we talked about as well, especially with our narrators. Does anybody have anything else they wanted to add about the themes and how it relates to what we might be feeling right now? I think especially for our bells, I'm not sure where Riley went, but Reese is also Belle. She's Belle in the tomorrow shows. Did you feel like the song Home really echoes a little bit about what you're feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's been like a really rough year. So like, I don't know, but like, yeah, it's been a really weird year, and it just kind of relates pretty well to what's happening right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've got some great questions, and 2 came through that were really similar. So let's start here with Jonathan's question. Assuming this project was more like making a movie, do you prefer acting in a movie or performing live on stage? Noah.
I prefer live on stage.
Okay, great. You have anything else you want to add to that?
Nope.
No, not at all. Okay, Isabel.
Okay, first of all, hi, Dad. And second of all, well, there's nothing that live on stage is like, you can't really beat that because like the adrenaline, I can't talk today. The adrenaline of the moment and just like what I call bloopers on stage, where you just kind of forget your line, but some part of your brain kind of remembers it. So it's just really fun to be on stage.
Yeah. I think Reese and Ella maybe wanted to talk about it a little bit too.
I prefer on stage.
Yeah, me too.
So Kara also said, we loved the show. Was it harder or easier to perform for a camera instead of a live audience? And maybe what were the differences? I know a lot of you love live performance, but what were the great things about doing this on camera? What were some good things about it? Hazel?
Well, it was fun to just be in front of the camera, because it feels kind of different than, for me, what I've always experienced, and that's kind of fun. So I liked performing in front of a camera, but I think it's way more fun to be in front of a real live audience.
Yeah. Anna?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Hazel because it's just a lot more fun just being on stage with like the whole audience and the cast backstage and like the quick changes and the songs, and it's just a lot more fun. But it was also pretty cool getting to record because you had to like do like the audio recordings and the video recordings and all of that. So once you did something, you could kind of forget about it and not worry about messing up. So that was something that was really nice about it. But I still 100% would choose live performance over videos.
Yeah. Noah?
The things I like about the video is you can do things multiple times instead of having like one chance to get it right. And then I also agree that you can just forget about something after you do it. But I also really like doing live performances with the quick changes and all that stuff because it's a lot more hectic, but it's also a lot more fun.
Great. I think Ella had one more comment about this, and then we'll move on to the next question.
Live was harder because in pre-recorded you can like if you forget a line, you can just like go grab your script and then just read it again. And also it was like cool because you would have to like as Mrs. Potts, I had to record just me pushing the cart across the stage like in multiple different views, and it was really cool.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we have our next question is from Kimberly. Did doing this show make getting through the pandemic any easier? I think we should let Noah answer that question first, because I think you might know the person who asked the question.
Well, first, I'm going to say, hi, Mom. Second, it did make it easier because I can do something fun instead of sitting around the house being lazy all day. The only thing that was hard is the Tuesday things, because I had this, then I had to go eat dinner, and then I had a dance class like 30 minutes, like an hour after it finished.
Drew.
On the contrary, being lazy is fun. But yes, I did enjoy actually doing something. Yeah, it really helped me because theater is like my thing, and I was actually in a production when like the pandemic struck. It was at school, and I was really excited for it, and then it got canceled, and I was really sad, and I missed theater. I did one over like the winter months, and it was but this one was really, really fun.
Awesome. I'm glad you had fun. Oh, and Reese wants to say something about that too.
Yeah, I think it did because this was one of the first shows that I got to go back into the theater for like a long time, and it was just really fun to be able to go back.
That's awesome. I want to ask one more question because I really, really loved the costumes in the show. And normally when we're producing things in the theater, we have a costume designer that creates an overall vision for the show and then either pulls costumes from the wardrobe that we have, not Madame's wardrobe, but our other like very big wardrobe at the theater, or builds new costumes, or sometimes borrows or rents costumes. But for this one, almost everybody decided to either make their own or to maybe borrow a couple things from us and put some ideas together. And they were so creative. So I'd love to just hear, we have, I think, one more question after this. Love to hear your thoughts on building the costume and if that was something new for you, if it's something you'd want to do again, if you have an interest in costume design after doing this. Ella, let's start with Ella and then Isabel.
So yeah, you would like go in your closet and see everything that you had and like what would go with your character, and then you could also go into the theater and like they had stuff from the first Beauty and the Beast show that they did, so you could borrow some stuff from that or just create like your whole entire costume from scratch at your house.
Great. Isabel.
Well, first of all, total time consumer, but it was totally worth it. So yeah, first of all, I had no idea that fake mustaches were like a thing. And also, being Cogsworth took a lot of work because you're like, how the heck do you turn someone into a clock? Like, sure, we had the pendulum, sure, we had the cardboard piece, but like top hat, mustache, like, we spent like literally days on just finding a single mustache. Like, how is that possible? So,
do you think that gives you a new appreciation for the costume designer in the show who's putting together every detail of every character normally?
Yes, and I mean, looking back on some other shows, I'm like, wow, that costume was pretty detailed. And I'm like, I am so sorry.
I've been so impressed with our costume designers in the past who have chosen specific buttons or even stitching to make sure that it fits in with the time period or the character. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Anna, we'll let you answer and then we'll move on to the next question.
So this is about just costumes in general. You never really appreciate how detailed a costume is until you have to design your own costume. And then you appreciate every single detail in it. And yeah.
Do you think you'd want to keep doing the costumes in future shows or hand it over to the costume designer? If you want to hand it over to the costume designer, just do some jazz hands. If you want to keep designing, just point to yourself.
Personally, I say, here you go.
Okay. It's a big job. Okay, great. We have another fun question, which is, if you could be miscast as any Beauty and the Beast character, who would it be and why? What other character would you play? We'll start with Isabel.
First of all, Cogsworth. There's literally no one other than Cogsworth. Like, the moment I saw the script, Cogsworth. Like, that's the only person that, like, I am not gonna be Babette. No. I'm just like, no. Mm-mm.
So the miscast version may be Babette. That would be the last person you would be cast in, you think?
Yeah, Lumiere, fine, if I had to choose.
Okay. You'd like to play Lumiere. Okay, great. All right, Drew.
When this began, I originally wanted to be a Lumiere, and I just realized the polar opposite of the Beast is a silly girl. I would be miscast as a silly girl.
That would be fun to watch. I'd love it.
It would be fun to watch, yes.
Amelia, we haven't heard a lot from you. Who do you think you would be miscast in, or who else would you like to play if you did the show again?
I wouldn't want to be that's hard because I like all the characters in the cast.
Okay. Ella, do you want to answer? And also then I'm going to go to Reese with the question.
I don't think I would be the Beast just because my voice is so high, and that would be like, I would have to be like, get out of my castle.
I can buy that. Why not? We could go for yes, we could. Please. An Ella version. Reese, I'm hoping you'll also talk about that you have been cast in another role. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was cast as Chip when I was like 7, and it was fun. Like, that was, I don't know. It was just really fun.
What's it like going from playing Chip to playing Belle?
It's kind of like, it's weird because like I was really young when I did play Chip, and now I'm old now. So, but yeah, I think it was really cool.
Great. Anna.
So I think, as Drew said, the exact opposite of a silly girl is the Beast. So that just, yeah.
So Anna as the Beast. But Anna, I could actually really see you playing the Beast. I think that would be awesome. You would do a great job. Hazel, did you have one?
Well, the total opposite of LeFou has to be Belle, because Belle is like really smart and LeFou is going kind of nuts.
And we have a question that we talked about a little bit earlier, but maybe you can go into more detail. This question, I think, is for Justin.
Oh, yeah. So how did you find select backgrounds and go with illustrations versus real images / photographs? Freya wants to know. So there were a few images in there that were definitely real images. But later in the editing process, Nina and I liked the idea of, rather than trying to make it realistic, we liked using like realistic images but making them look like paintings. So the illustrations actually started as real ones that we then put into this software that made it look like a painting. And then the other ones that were illustrations were just too perfect to pass up. I mean, we had that hallway that was gorgeous, that Belle and the Beast and Cogsworth and Lumiere walk through. We also had the illustration of the town in the beginning with the fountain in the middle. We thought that was perfect. So we kind of just picked whichever ones were best, and some we just couldn't pass up. So it was sort of random.
Speaking of the fountain in the background, I will say that just like in real life, we have some errors and mistakes in our editing process. Like Sarah is a wolf like 12 times.
Yes.
And Belle disappeared from one of the numbers for a moment. But these are, it just, hopefully it makes it feel even more like live theater to you all.
She just missed her cue, but it was my fault.
You're still people. You make mistakes.
Exactly.
True.
So my thing's also about the backgrounds. I noticed that like in the forest backgrounds, it's like the big one with the large trees. In like the back corner, there's a person just like standing there behind one of the trees. It's scary.
I think that was a wolf. I think that was because our wolves are people dressed as wolves. I think it's just another actor playing a wolf.
It was a very shadowy figure. I was slightly concerned as to who was watching this happen.
Maybe it was symbolic and intentional.
Were you just slightly concerned about who was watching this happening and not helping?
I was just like throwing wolves, and then there was this guy just standing there.
Also, can I say, why do I really want to see you play a silly girl now? That sounds hilarious.
I just want to, oh, I'm gone somehow. Am I here? There I am. We just got a message from Trudy that said, yay, so excited. Everyone got to see the amazing show. You all worked so hard to put it together. I think we all need to give some huge props to Trudy because Trudy worked like, I cannot even tell you the number of hours that she spent. And also going through every single video, not just the individual filmed videos in the studio and on Zoom, but also all the group rehearsals, trimming them, organizing them, naming them. She's truly a stage manager / superhero. Yes. Yes, Trudy. I mean, we have to give you all the props. Also, we had 2 other student assistants on the show, Natasha, who helped with accents, music, and stage management, and some acting, and Christina, who was also our assistant director, assistant choreographer, and she choreographed the mob song. And Natasha and Christina were also amazing superstars, and they helped Trudy with organizing at the end. So Trudy has a question for us. I know I'm a little late, but I would like to know what the cast think about the way the show was edited together. Was it different from what you had in mind when you were rehearsing? Ella and Reese?
Yeah, when I was rehearsing, I was like, I don't know how they're gonna edit this and put this together. Like, I was just really confused. And then when I saw the show, I was like, I was not expecting that like at all. That was like really good.
Isabel?
Well, I mean, I knew that Justin wouldn't let us down, but I was like, this is a lot of people. How the heck is this going to happen?
It's a lot of people. So we have 23 people in the cast. 4 actors shared a role, right? So 4 actors were in the show as the ensemble, but also played a role. Those are Belle, Mrs. Potts, Lumiere, and Cogsworth. Yeah. So that was really fun. Justin, do you have any questions for our cast before we go?
Oh, yeah. I was so curious. So you all became filmmakers in your own homes over this process. And something I noticed when I was editing is that all of your green screens were so great. I would just love to know how you created your space in your home when you were recording and how you found what worked for you and how you got the green screen to go up from the ceiling to the floor. I was like, I need one of those. Yeah, Drew.
I didn't at my house. I did not record anything in my house except for my bows. My bows were the only thing in my house.
Isabel, you had a lot of recording at home. I'd love to hear what you thought.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do anything in the studio like at all. surprised it turned out that well. And honestly, the secret to the green screen was tape. Artist tape was like the literally only thing. And I think the best part was when we were like putting up the green screen and we were like, we did it the wrong way. And then we had to take everything down and
Oh,
put
no.
Put it
up
sideways?
again. And it was sideways. And
Crazy.
we had to turn everything around. And I was like,
That sounds
my
fun.
life.
Yeah, you guys worked really hard and it worked out so great. Made my job a lot easier, so thank you.
You're welcome, Justin.
Oh, look, we have another question. How did you decide how tall or small each person should appear on the video? That's a funny question, actually. So Hazel, did you notice how I made you super, super tiny next to Thomas most of the time? I just thought that was the most hilarious thing ever. And honestly, it was for my own enjoyment. And I hope you enjoyed it too.
And I just think, nice bonk, Thomas. Nice bonk.
Yeah. That worked out really well too. Another part of it too is because there were so many of you, it was sort of a guessing game of like, okay, who can fit in this space? Because we only have, 1,920 pixels across the screen to put so many people there. So it was sort of a guessing game. Sometimes the shortest person in the cast would be huge in the back and then the tallest person would be short in the front. It was kind of fun because, short people can be tall on the screen.
I have one last question I want to ask, which is, what was the funniest part when you saw the show? What made you laugh out loud? Ella and Reese, and then we'll go to Isabel and then Drew.
In Gaston, when they were doing the kick line, Thomas was so tall to where everyone in the front row, when he kicked, it looked like he was kicking their heads.
Yeah, that was what I found.
I thought about the same thing. I'm just like, wouldn't he be knocking them over?
I think it was
just be so tall. Wouldn't he be kicking them in the back?
That's what I thought too.
Drew, what made you laugh out loud?
There were two moments. One of them was when I discovered there was a person in the trees, and the other one was when Noah was like seeing if his invention worked. He was like, "It works!" My entire family died.
I like how I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna pick up the wrong end of the phone, then I'm gonna do the right one.
That was a carefully.
Hold on. That invention was made by, I don't know who it was made by, but when I first saw it, I'm just like, what did you do?
Okay, I think we need to give another round of applause to Stanya, who not only directed all of the music and helped, but she also did a million other things, such as build Maurice's invention. And she did it in about 3 minutes.
How?
Tanya, grab a bunch of random things and put.
The invention was made out. Hold on. The invention was made out of a broken clock, one of those old phones that you have to pick up and put down on the receiver thing, and iron, like for clothes.
Yes,
and like this base thing.
Don't forget the spinny chair. Don't forget the spinny chair.
The spinny chair base. Thank you.
A broken chair. The great way to
when
use.
I first saw it, I'm just like, what kind of demonic thing have you created?
I went into film and I saw it and I'm like, I don't even want to know what that is.
I like how I just poke at it and eventually we just hear a loud boom and it works.
Okay, who has another funny moment, something that made them crack up? Isabel.
Well, when I saw my lines, I was like, wow, I did that well. But the funniest thing for me was probably when we were doing, I can't remember what scene it was, but I realized I had totally forgotten every element of my freaking costume. And and I was like, what the heck? Like,
can I just say when I saw the bows with the mop on your head, I was just like, My God, it's the mop lady of the swamps.
Isabel, I have to say, I cracked up at your line. I think it was like, okay, when Belle says, I think maybe you can show me around the castle. And you were so flattered. And it just, I don't know what it was. It was just like the way you reacted to that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I also really like the, she's not coming. It's like, what? She's not coming. And how it like echoed. There was an echo throughout the entire castle. And so
It's just like the fear in your voice. The pure fear.
Hilarious. Anna.
Okay, so this is really random, but I saw it in the preview because I haven't actually watched the show yet. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. But this is in the preview, and if you look in the cake line during Gaston, you can see that it looks like I'm kicking Evie, and I don't know why it was so funny, and I didn't even realize that until Reese pointed it out, and I was like, and I watched it
It
again.
looked like Gaston was kicking everything.
Yes, it looks like Gaston was kicking everything, and it was so weird, but it was so funny.
I will knock you all over. This is my tavern.
This is my time. Leave me alone.
This is my castle.
So it might be a good thing that we weren't in person, right? Because everybody would be having bruises and things.
It would be chaotic.
I do think that
It
when
would
we
be
did
chaos.
Gaston last time, there were some injuries. I think that very
Really?
Hopefully
Yeah.
there's no
That-
orchestra pit. Hopefully there's no orchestra
Oh, you
pit.
just reminded me of something that
Ella.
happened to me.
Does Ella have a funny? We're gonna finish up on the funny things.
Yeah, I have another one.
Okay.
A few of Isabel's lines really cracked me up, and
Yes.
one of them,
Coming.
Did you have one in particular, Ella?
the one that really made like my whole family crack up was I forget how she said it, but she was like wait, what was it?
I don't
Like-
know.
Oh no, I just forgot.
Can I guess what it was? Because I think it. Oh, go.
She was like, "What about me?"
Everybody has a favorite
The
cause.
amount of just like I am offended that was in her voice.
Yes.
What about me?
So Hazel, did you have any funny moments?
For some reason, I knew some people from before this production, and when I saw them just as a totally different character on stage, I was just like, "This is weird."
I think that when Freya appeared in the music and like how giant she was when she was singing to LeFou, I thought that was hilarious. I just started cracking up, and
When I heard,
yes, I'm personally so excited that Mommy made me mash my M&Ms.
yes, I was
And
just,
the show.
when I heard that, I'm just like, this show is set in like the 1700s. How
Is that what
M&Ms
she
don't
was
exist.
singing? Was she singing "Mommy made me mash my M&Ms"?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Also-
I'm watching it again tomorrow with friends. I'm gonna have to point that out.
When she opened the wardrobe, I'm just like, oh god,
So funny.
yes.
I had to put "Mommy Made Me Mash My M&Ms" in there after she
You had to.
After she did in the take, Melissa goes, "That was the one.
That
was the one.
was the
That's-
one.
That was it. Yes. I'm glad she was willing to try different things. And I loved the baby doll clothes in the wardrobe were just a great touch.
Freya's costume in general was so good. Like that was one of the best
I
ones.
didn't expect it to open and there to be those in there. I saw that. I'm just like,
Definitely.
Who comes up with this stuff?
Okay,
the
Isabel.
director and the other people.
I
I'd assume.
remember watching it, and I was like, and when it got to the part where they was like going up Freya's costume, I was like, wait, that can't be. No, what?
It's not.
That's Freya. Like
Just like dramatic music
like
as
seems
Freya
like-
Dun
approaches.
dun 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 dun
She's
dun
like the most
dun
unthreatening, cute
And
little
then-
girl, and it's just like, I'm gonna
dun
get
dun
you.
dun 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 dun.
When you see her on camera, when you see her on that thing, you think, wow. And then when you see her in real life compared to that, you're like, wow.
Oh.
Wow. He
Yeah.
is very unscary.
You just be like, like look down.
It's
and
just like
and
from
she'd probably
this
be like,
to
hi.
this.
Yeah. From
So it's time for us to wrap up. We've had a fun night. I would like to end the way that we do a lot of rehearsals and things that we do with just one word response to how everybody's feeling right now. Can we go around and just say one word? Isabel.
Wow.
Okay. Amelia.
Amazed.
Noah.
Cracked up.
Anna.
Shocked in a good way.
Hazel.
Craziness.
Drew.
It's kind of hard to explain, but it's all good.
Most of us totally said one word.
And Reese and Ella and Quinn and Reagan, you can also join in. Fantabulous! Fantabulous. Well, that's a great way to end the evening. Thank you to our cast, our crew, and especially the families and parents of everybody, because they did a lot of work too behind the scenes. Like Drew's mom did his makeup like 1,000,000 times, by the way, because we recorded so many times.
At least 7. At least 7.
And so many people helped out in so many ways we can't really even count. So here's one of our DMR dads. Yay! Thank you to all of our families. Amazing work. We have 3 more shows. It's not too late to buy tickets. You can go to dmaradventures.com/tickets. We'll have a Talkback tomorrow night after the 7 o'clock show and another one after the 2 o'clock show. And cast, guess what? We have a rehearsal tomorrow. Just kidding. Not really a rehearsal.
Oh, thank you.
We are going to meet, if you want, at 10:30 on our normal cast Zoom. If you just want to check in with everybody and say hi just one last time. And you'll see different actors and cast and creative team members through the different 3 talkbacks. So if you're not going to be joining us on screen for the next talkback, hopefully you can ask some questions or make some comments as well.
Hold on, can I say something before we go? Drew, your nose was amazing. The beast one.
It looked so wet the whole time, and I'm like, this is the most unflattering nose I've ever had for any show ever.
No, I just saw it one time, and I'm just like, why is his nose so shiny?
It was grease paint. Like, I actually had it, like, right here. But it's, like, grease paint, but it's really shiny.
Shine forever.
It does not like to come off. So I get to go home with, like, because I have really thick eyebrows, with, like, caterpillars above my eyes. It's not fun. And I get like on FaceTime with my friends and I talk to them. We're like, what did you do? And I'm like, it happened again.
You don't want to know.
Like, I was in makeup. Leave me alone.
Whenever I wear makeup, the hardest thing to get out is the mascara. That is evil.
It is. It really is evil.
I have never had to wear mascara, so I consider myself lucky.
When I do stage makeup, like for shows and stuff and recitals, I have to wear mascara. It's evil.
I just want to say
pure evil, Drew.
That was like a typical Drew thing to just happen to have stage makeup within arm's reach. Because when we did rehearsals, I say it was one of the funniest things. I would be like, what kind of costume do you think you're going to wear? And he was like, I have this wig, and then I have this wig, and this is what we're wearing.
And then I have this.
I have the wig.
It's like an entire...
I have the wig. I have my villager wig, which I actually wore in the show. It's not styled right now, so it looks terrible. And then I have this one, which I was going to wear in an Enchanted Ensemble costume, but I didn't end up being in that.
Drew, quick question. Why do you have all of the... How do you store all this stuff?
I remember when you put on a wig for a rehearsal. And we were all just laughing.
That was one of the biggest
like
disruptions we ever had. I was trying on a wig, and I didn't realize I had my camera still on. Let's just say
and then everyone just started laughing.
Hey, Drew, how do you store all this stuff?
We can agree that Drew is like the Mary Poppins of costumes. Okay,
Drew, you are Mary Poppins.
I have 2 Mary Poppins scripts right here.
Seriously?
On that note, you're all super califragilisticexpialidocious. Awesome. And thank you all for joining us. And we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.